Guys, I don't think, like, I know this isn't a great segue from our last segment, but I don't think the Spurs are going to win another game this season. Do you hate me for saying that? We've lost 14 straight now. But this is the good thing, though. We're definitely in Wemby land, baby. But we're getting worse. Like, as far as our winning, we're getting worse. Now, as far as what I've seen from this team, I'm going to go ahead and be honest with you guys. I don't think that this team is like... I don't think the team personnel-wise is getting worse. I just think that overall, this was bound to happen. I don't know if you guys recall, but earlier this season, I said this. I literally said, this team is not going to be good as the season goes on. Everyone was so excited at the beginning. Actually, we're gonna take a way back machine. Hold on. Let's do Spurs record. Let's just go to the beginning of the season. We're going back. Come on. Go. All right. Preseason. So as we can see here, Spurs lost preseason, lost their first game of the season, but we won. And then we won. And then we won. Then we lost. Then we won. And then we won. And then we lost. 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 Then we won. And around this time, a lot of Spurs fans were like, no, dude, this team, I think, is better than you thought. I think from last season, you're not. I think from last season, you're not getting it. You're not getting it, Clan. We have the potential to be better than we were last season. Asinine. Absolutely stupid. That is a terrible take from this team. I know that we all get a little bit excited from the Spurs, okay? But guys, this team last season was not good. I said this over and over again. I don't regret it because here's the thing. Last season was a complete waste, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, it was necessary, but it was a waste. And what I mean by that is last season, all that was going on all season long was us being pretty close in games and then being saved by DJ or Derek White and like the best players on the team. Like, that happened over and over and over again, that at the end of the game, DeJounte Murray would save the day or make a big shot or make a big steal at the end, and then we'll win. And it just created a team that was just basically mediocre because he's not a star. We didn't have a star on the team. But I understand also that it was necessary for him to put up those types of numbers and put up those types of stats so we can oversell him to another team, which the Atlanta Hawks were the ones that bit. So I understand it was necessary, but it also felt like a complete waste of time. And I think that it skewed a lot of Spurs fans' opinions on the team and what they thought the upside actually was, because it was not there. And we talked about many of times like, oh, what if they go and get Zach Collins and get DeAndre Ayton? Awful. Would have been god awful, and the Spurs would have stayed in mediocrity. That's why this entire time I was like, just trade everybody. Even when Derek White was gone, you guys know that was my favorite player. When he was gone, I understood it. Just let it go. Let's keep moving on. Just keep chugging along. And that's what they did. So that was the right move. I understand all that, but man, people's ideas of the team was so skewed near the beginning of this season. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, I had my own biases, right? I thought Primo, and I still believe this. I still believe that this would have been true if he didn't screw up. But I thought Primo would be something special. And by this point of the season, I thought we would have saw like him really go off, or a few games that we could have sat back and like, oh man, he's legit. But unfortunately, he did what he did. And you guys know I was already high on Jeremy Sohan and Malachi, and they're definitely showing what they can do. But overall, man, I didn't understand where a lot of Spurs fans, there was a few even Spurs fan like commentators saying that they thought that the Spurs would be pretty decent, or at the very least better than last season. No idea where they got that from. If they were thinking Keldon Johnson was better than DeJounte Murray, I don't know what to tell you. Said this over and over again. People hate it. Keldon is a role player, and that's fine, but he is a role player, and role players are not going to lead you to many victories. It's just not going to happen that way. Let's see. Pistons fans are praying for your success. 8 games win streak incoming. Shoot, I bet. I bet. No, I look at our roster, man. I don't mean to be like a Debbie Down. Well, actually, I think this is a good thing. I mean, I'm happy about it. But guys, this roster is just not good. It is just not good. Spurs been on their rodeo road trip, so been taking L's. It is just not good. Funny enough, too, you remember when rodeo road trips were something that was special? It does not feel special. This rodeo road trip does not feel special at all. It used to be something that we would sit back and get excited about. This is not fun. This rodeo road trip is not fun. But yeah, look, we're on our way to Wemby land. Good stuff, great stuff. I'm happy about it. But I don't know. I guess this is more of a I told you so, but it should have been obvious, man. Like, and that's the thing. I've always been very optimistic when it comes to the Spurs. But my optimism doesn't get in the way of reality. Okay. I'm going to always be pretty honest about it. And going into this season, I knew we would be terrible. That there was no doubt in my mind that the Spurs would be pretty terrible. But yeah, it's just too young of a team, not enough talent. Yeah. Honestly, it is kind of funny now because I don't think anyone will argue with me now if I said Keldon was a role player, and everybody hated me at the beginning of the season saying that. But good stuff though. Good stuff. I think that we're really set for some success once we can get to this draft, do what we got to do, and get more and more not more draft capital, just more talent in general. Oh, and let me say this too. Let me just throw this out there because I've seen this a few times. It hasn't been like terrible lately, but I've seen this a few times where people will say something in the lines of, "Oh, you got rid of all these players. What's the point? You got rid of all these players. You can't trade anybody else, and now we're just stuck with all these draft picks." Like, what do you think these draft picks will turn into? You know what I mean? Like, if you take all these draft picks, you really think the Spurs are going to pick all these second round draft picks they have? You think that they're going to pick up second round draft picks every single time? Like, because we don't have the talent, the Spurs did exactly what you got to do, right? Like, we don't have the talent as far as star power, right? So we can't get any great deals anymore. We milked that with DeJounte, got lucky there. And then when it comes to the Jakob Poeltl deal, got pretty lucky with there because Toronto wanted them back. So we don't really have any star power. I mean, we didn't even get what we really wanted out of Jakob and Josh Richardson. So what else can you do? Well, you can package these picks and you can trade certain players down the line if you want to. Like, I'm not saying trade Keldon Johnson, but he definitely has a tradable deal, like a very team-friendly deal that he would make him pretty tradable. Same with Charles Bassey, which is a 4-year deal, and he's making like nothing, right? Like, you could take those players and you can take multiple second-round picks, and you could do something if a couple of years down the line we feel comfortable with what we have, right? Like, we say Malachi coming to his own. You say, oh, thanks, Josh, for the $5. I'll read it in 1 second. But yeah, like, if we have Malachi Brown turn it to his own, Jeremy Sohan turns it to his own, and then you have like a Wembayama, right? And he's going to be something special. Maybe you get another player, and maybe you don't have a use for some of the younger guys that we thought that we might have had a use for. Boom, you can package them with a few second round picks and get some talent immediately and say, okay, we're good. But right now we're just stacking up so we can actually have options, because the last thing you want as a franchise is to have to solely depend on the draft. And I don't think that the Spurs have to solely depend on the draft. I think regardless, you'll get a top 3, top 4, top 5 talent, and hopefully that's good enough. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, just wanted to bring that to your attention. We are not great. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it. This is an efficiency landscape. Last 15 games, okay, and we lost 14. So of those 15, worst team in the NBA right now. But anyways, yeah.